All right. So here we go with another episode of Rock and Roll Confessional. Thank you.
I'm CW.
I'm Rita Wild.
Hey, everybody. This episode is with Dorothy Martin of the band Dorothy. Dorothy began her career at the Musicians Institute in Los Angeles. She started her band in 2014 and was signed in 2016 to Jay-Z's Rock Nation label, which is pretty cool, you know?
Yeah.
The band is now about to release their third album titled Gifts from the Holy Ghost, which comes out on April 22nd.
The band is open for acts like Heart, Joan Jett, Struts, Lita Ford, Halestorm, and co-headlined with Greta Van Fleet and was part of Lollapalooza tour in 2018. So, what do you say? Let's do it?
Let's do it.
Our interview with Dorothy Martin from the band Dorothy. You doing good?
Yes.
Getting ready to get out on the road, huh?
I'm excited.
How long has it been?
Well, we played a couple festivals at the end of the year, but touring's been over 2 years.
Oh, my God. First of all, congratulations on everything that seems to be start spinning for you and the whole, the revelation that Jay-Z, Rock Nation has got you under the wing, going to be releasing your next record. It seems like everything's flowing in the direction that you want it to be.
It certainly feels that way. Yeah. I'm very grateful to the team over at Rock Nation and to the rock and roll community specifically. Very, very grateful. This is our third album. So
yeah,
getting out there.
It's called Gifts from the Holy Ghost. And Dorothy, the one thing I couldn't find is when is it released, or is there even a date set yet?
Yes, it's coming out on Rock Nation this March.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Good,
so
good,
right
good.
before the tour starts, I would presume.
I think a little bit into the tour.
Okay.
So what's it like having a big organization behind you? I mean, are they going to like put money up for the tour, go to radio stations and try and get spins on all the different stations? How does it work nowadays? Because it's different than when most bands that I know started out and, you just had to have a good sound, and now it's more viral, isn't it?
I feel like you still have to have a good sound and good songs. They're doing all the things on digital and radio. And our marketing guy, Rob Gordon, is so great. Nadine and Bianca Edwards over at Rock Nation have been a real integral part of this journey for this album. So I love my team. I think it's strong, and shout out to them. Hi.
Yeah, it's an amazing album. We just got it on Friday. And I have to say, when I listen to it, I'm like, there's at least 5 singles off of this album.
Yep. Absolutely.
Rest in Peace is the first, which you've already released, which is an amazing, great rock song. But there's Beautiful Life, which kind of reminded me a little bit of like the Runaways or Cherie Currie, kind of like that. What else? Big Guns, Touched by Fire.
Guns.
All those songs were just like ready to hit it. It's an incredible album. So congrats on that.
Exactly.
Thank you. I agree. There's definitely at least 3 singles I feel on this record. And I had the honor of writing with some really incredible people. Beautiful Life was me and Jason Hook at his studio in Vegas. And I penned the words to that. He had some great riffs and we just went for it. And I feel like that's definitely one of my favorite songs. It's hard to pick favorites, but one of my favorite lyrics on the record is in that song, Don't Let the Demons Get You Down. And this whole album's cohesive theme is about overcoming darkness and adversity. So, I think it's got a strong message.
Yeah. Tell us about the darkness.
It's different for everybody.
So true.
Well, like you said, it's a big theme on this album, and Rest in Peace, kind of feels like it highlights that.
Yeah. Scott Stevens and the Four Horsemen were part of it, and Zach Malloy, Blair Daly, Marty Fredrickson, and everyone's darkness looks different. Like my darkness is different than your darkness, To me, when I listened back to it, it could sound like a breakup song, but
that's what I thought.
It was me bearing my addiction and alcoholism in the ground. That was the metaphor for me. That obviously is going to seep its way into my music. And, but Scott actually wrote that song with me in mind. And typically I like to collaborate I love to write, love to be in the room with the guys. But I took a couple songs from other writers because they were so good, and Rest in Peace was one of them.
There's so many songs on this album, and it's interesting that you noted in Beautiful Life. I wrote down that line too. That was the one that resonated with me about don't let the demons get you down. Many of the songs are about empowerment. It's kind of like letting loose the inner dragon in a sense. One of the songs, Taking Back
The Life You Stole.
Taking Back the Life You Stole. Yeah. I mean, that's great stuff.
Yeah. Thanks, Scott, for he wrote that song with me in mind, and I really couldn't have done a better job. He's so incredibly talented.
Now, was Chris Lord Alge responsible for some of this album production of it?
A big, huge, important part of it. Yeah, he executive produced, and added a bunch of cool, ear candy with Phil X, and they reimagined some of the guitars, and Phil did his background vocals. And so it slowly over time started to mold and shape and become cohesive. And because I feel like there's a lot of different influences, I feel like there's a lot of different rock, but there's a way to tie it all together. And then he mixed it, obviously sounds so good. He's so talented.
Now, do you have the same backup band that you've had for years now? Because this is your third album, right? So
no, they changed. There's like a revolving door. Elliot's been with me the longest, bass player Elliot Larengo, and he was with me on the first album. He got offered a deal at Interscope with the Eries, and I was like, yeah, take it, dude, of course, But he's back in the band. I've got Sam Colton on guitar, sometimes Nick Annis on guitar, and Jake Hayden on drums, and they're all friends, and they're all my friends, and I feel like I have a group of brothers, which is really good. So I love my band. I appreciate all the past members too. I mean, many of us are still friends, and sure, we'll work together at some point, maybe not, but if we share the love of music and friendship, so that's okay.
In an interview, Dorothy, in 2019, you said that this album, and it was probably before you wrote the album, was going to be for the fans. And I'm wondering if today, looking at the album, is it still for the fans, or is this, it kind of feels like it's a lot more personal for you?
Yeah, no, it's both. It's personal. I wrote many of the lyrics straight from the heart, but yeah, it's definitely for the fans. I wanted to make a fun rock and roll album, but also I can't just do it, on autopilot. There has to be, for me, there always has to be some significant message in there, because I like to overthink things and make it so important and put so much pressure on myself. But I can't let that opportunity go to waste. So I wanted to, and I feel like there's some like that line that resonated with you. There's some nuggets in there.
Yeah. I've got to talk about this incident that happened on your tour bus. I mean, I think that seems like it was a pretty inspiring moment in a sense of what happened with one of your band members. Can you tell us about that story on the bus?
Yeah. So, well, this was a significant experience for me, and I've received very little criticism about the story. I know it's hard to believe. I know it would be hard for someone who's not in my body having the experience to believe it. But essentially, I mean, our guitar tech overdosed on heroin in his bunk and died. And we were pulling out of Philly, and we were well into our journey on the freeway. So we pulled off on the highway. And basically, they woke me up. I came out, and, I see his body on the floor of the front lounge. He's like blue and green. And I just had this feeling like that his spirit had left. And, I'm interested in reading about near-death experiences. I read a book by Dr. Eben Alexander called Proof of Heaven, which is really interesting. And he was a neurosurgeon, and he had a near-death experience, and he left his body and all that. But I asked our guitar tech if he saw the light, and he didn't. So he didn't have a near-death experience, but I had an experience where I was observing what was happening. And I'm sure I had this experience for a reason. And when I share the story, it seems to get a pretty big reaction out of people. I mean, I knew he was dead, and I just had this still small internal voice say, pray, just pray over him. And then the paramedics came on the bus, and I felt like I was like floating out of my body almost. And I grabbed my sound engineer and my manager. I'm like, guys, we got to pray. And I can hear the paramedics talking to the bus driver, like, are there any drugs on this bus? And I'm like thinking, no, that's crazy. This is a dry tour. But he had track marks, and they knew, they knew what to look for. So they started working on him, and I'm praying, and I'm like taking these big meditative breaths, and I just feel like I'm floating, and this voice is telling me to pray. And I just said, please, like, whoever's out there, give him another chance. And then that same kind of voice said, okay, we're sending him back now, after a few moments of prayer. And we were, in a circle holding hands next to them while they're working on him. I don't know, I was kind of detached, and I definitely didn't feel any fear. It was a very interesting experience. And when I opened my eyes, all the color had returned to his skin. He actually tried to one of the paramedics as they took him off to the hospital. I mean, we had to obviously send him home. I don't know if I think he got a second chance. I don't know if what he's doing now, but that's the day that I knew there was a higher power. I knew there was something bigger. And it was pretty miraculous to witness. Yeah.
Sometimes it's, you have to experience it to believe it. For me, I'd never believed in a ghost or anything before, but then all of a sudden, when that experience hits you, you're like so open to it. And I think that's part of it, is having to be open to these things. Were you used to praying before, or is that something that was completely unnatural and it just came to you like, everybody, let's do this?
No. So actually I had no concept of God, or, I wanted to believe, but I didn't know. The craziest part of the story, I usually save it for the very end, is I think it was the night before and I was in my recovery. I don't know how much time I had. All I knew is I was feeling kind of insecure about it and a little shaky. And I said, God, if you can hear me, I need you to reveal yourself to me. I'm praying in my bunk. I'm not Christian or Catholic or Muslim. Like, I don't know. I'm not religious. I'm just in my bunk. Like, if there's a God, I need you to reveal yourself to me, because like, I want to believe. And, my 12-step program is telling me you have to have a higher power, but I can't. Like, I need you to show up. And then he did. So that's really all I can say about that.
Something like that changes you forever, doesn't it?
I was sold. Yeah. And then I wrote Gifts from the Holy Ghost. So
yeah, good writing material.
So the tour that's coming up in March, Dorothy, is this your first headline tour? No,
we've done several, but it's very exciting. We have, Rest in Pieces on the radio and getting a great reaction from people. And I feel like fans are ravenous and ready to party. So we're really excited to go out, and it's just doing what we love. So it's been over 2 years. And the last thing we played was Welcome to Rockville on 11/11 to 40,000 people. It was the biggest show I've played. And Danny Wimmer has been so good to us, but we haven't been on tour for a while. So I timed it where I'm like, well, I got to make an album once this shit is over, we're going to have to hit the road again. So I think everyone's excited and ready.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Just for so many talented, creative people, I mean, most of them, I think, took their time to listen to whatever the universe was telling them and, to write about it. You had a lot of great stuff to write about and talk about, and including your own recovery and stuff like that. Were you really down deep into drugs, or what was that situation like for you?
For me, my drug of choice was always alcohol first. Oh. And I've been around it, and I have not a single desire to pick it up. And, but when you're struggling with that demon, that spirit, it's like it drives the bus, I just know I can't safely pick up a drink. I mean, I've had times where I've picked up a drink and nothing's happened, but then there's times where I should have been dead because it led to drugs. And I overdosed on cocaine twice, once in Los Angeles, once in New York, and went to the ER, alcohol and cocaine. And if I was going through turbulent, abusive relationship or whatnot at the time as well. But, and I was self-medicating and numbing the pain. And, yeah, by all accounts, I definitely should be dead.
But you've got a story to tell, and now you've got the clarity to spread that message and just to tell people that, hey, it gets better. It gets better. Empower yourself. And
if you don't stop it, it's jails, institutions, and death, and it gets worse. And
yeah,
the life I wanted to live anymore. And I had to. So now I'm in service to God and mankind through music. That's how I like to look at it. And I try not to know everything, and I take it one day at a time, and I try not to know it all and know too much, and just stay humble. And it's not always easy.
In one of the press releases, it said that you were looking for the meaning of life. Have you found it?
I think so. Yeah, I've always been that way. I've always been like, why am I here? But there's moments, and I feel like I like to tell myself, well, more will be revealed, because we go through things that are bewildering, or you feel isolated. You feel like maybe God abandoned you, or you don't have it all figured out, and that's okay. We go through these up and down seasons, and I don't want to say I know the meaning of life. I just am happy with the meaning my life has right now.
And that's an important thing.
Yeah, it's satisfying. It's pretty satisfying where I'm at.
You seem like you're on a personal high.
Yes.
A better high than you've been in the past.
It's authentic, and that's the beauty in it, and the fact that you can look back and say, because how old are you? May I ask? Your 20s?
I'll be 36, April 11th.
36. So yeah, that's a lot of life to live. And then you still have so much left, going forward, and to be able to put that positive spin on it. You were born in Europe, right?
Budapest, yeah.
Budapest.
I don't know my biological father. My mother, fled communism through NATO, the United States, and ended up in San Diego when I was 3 years old. And she remarried, and I went to school and grew up in San Diego. So I'm as American as it gets. Came here for freedom and opportunity, and here I am.
Yeah,
it's like a movie. It's like an Angelina Jolie movie. Because she was married to a corrupt KGB officer. You can't make this stuff up. And we had to get out of there. There was so many things, so much opposition, and she wanted to come here and start over. So she did. Brave lady, really brave lady.
She's still with you?
Yeah.
Well, that's where you get a lot of your strength and your power from,
Yes.
So that's good to see, and, good to know. And I think always being born in a different place puts a different perspective on how you view life, even so you didn't really grow up there. I mean, you're 3 years, but that's part of you. Have you toured that part of the world yet?
I've visited my family. Yeah. Wow. It's such a trip. It's so different over there. The buildings are so beautiful.
Yeah.
Going to Budapest as an adult, it's really the most beautiful city I've ever been to. And I've been to many, but I still have many to go to. So
excellent. Dorothy, tell us about Linda Perry. You worked with her on your previous album. And and she's from the Four Non-Blondes, for those of you that may not know. You had a wonderful relationship with her, and I think she kind of mentored you.
She managed me for that album cycle, and she I let her kind of take creative control of the album, and I was willing to take a risk and deviation in sound and even look, because it just manifests from the inside out. And so she's an incredible songwriter. She's got a lot of really cool gear. We had some really great musicians on that record, and her studio is really cool. And it was a little more ethereal and nebulous and celestial and beautiful and goddess-like. That was just the energy. Like, I don't know, California desert rock. I don't know what we were doing. You would think we were on drugs, but we weren't. So like maybe LSD or acid. It was just had this floaty, ethereal energy to the record. And we didn't really know where we were going to end up. We wrote Flawless about, I wrote Flawless about an old relationship that hurt me, and it got to number 8 on the radio, which is great. I mean, it's not a loss,
Yeah. Not at all.
Who were some of your main influences? Because there's definitely rock. But like you said, it's like you absorb different types of music as well.
There's so much music I've listened to, so many artists I've listened to, and phases I've gone through. It's not always been rock, I actually think I taught myself how to sing by singing along with country artists. And then I studied opera at one point.
Wow.
And that was really good for my voice. I was singing Italian arias. It's been a long time. I probably brush up on that. It was a good experience to have. And so I was listening to like Maria Callas and Victoria de Los Angeles. And then the 90s grunge alternative rock really got to me. I love Nirvana. I love Audioslave and Soundgarden and the Red Hot Chili. I listened to everything. I listened to a lot of oldies growing up, a lot of Motown, and then old blues and jazz, Ella Fitzgerald, Billie Holiday, a lot of Ella Fitzgerald, and a lot of classical music. Like I've listened to everything, and I don't know, I just really love rock and roll.
But you taught yourself to yodel.
Yeah.
Love it.
I don't think you yodel and rock. It's okay.
There's that one song.
Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus,
Focus.
yeah.
Well, they yodel in there, so.
That's true. We have like this fun thing where we try to get to know people a little bit better. What was the first concert you went to that you remember?
Blink 182 in San Diego, and Newfound Glory opened for them. I was 16 years old. I didn't know what marijuana was. Smelled really bad in the mosh pit. Glory, they were great.
Who would you want to meet you've never met?
Elvis. Dead or alive?
That's, it's your game as much as ours.
Elvis.
Okay, how about alive?
Kanye West.
Yee.
Yay.
Who was the first rock star you ever met?
That's a good question. Probably Slash. Picture of us from before I even got into music. I want to say probably backstage at a Guns N' Roses show. And yeah, he had his hat and his glasses on, and I have a picture of us somewhere together. And then I've run into him from time to time. Really nice man, very, very kind and gracious. So I think he's the first one I met.
He must get around because a lot of people have said Slash.
He's around, or he has 5 clones. We don't know yet.
Yeah. But he had many of the same journey, with just blackout drinking and heroin and everything, and then sober now, and but just such a beautiful soul, and what a great guitar player. His new album's pretty good too.
If you had a message for your fans, what would it be?
I love you, and I mean, I guess touching on the theme of this album, like, even if you're going through a dark season, it's not a reason to give up. There's something good that can come of the darkness and the challenges that you're facing, and no human life is wasted. Everybody has a purpose. And I think the best way to start finding out what that is start asking.
Asking your higher power?
Just ask, what is my purpose? Why am I here?
I was going to ask about if you could say something to your 18, 19-year-old self, because I think at that time in life, you're just trying to find out who you are, and you have a lot of bravado, but then a lot of self-doubts and stuff like that. What would you say to your 18-year-old self?
There's no such thing as failure. It's not, this might work out. The mindset has to be, this will work out, and that I don't have a plan B. And because if you don't believe in yourself, who's gonna, right? And you're gonna kiss a lot of frogs, so just buckle up. A lot.
Yeah.
Who was your biggest influence in your life?
That's a good question. Right now, my sponsor, my sponsor in my 12-step recovery program, is a huge influence. She's a strong lady. She doesn't take any crap. So she's just what I needed. It took a long time to find someone I really clicked with. And then I finally surrendered, and it came at the right place at the right time. So my best friend, Melanie, is a really wonderful influence. My mother, my entire church. I mean, it's not just one person. There's a whole family of people that are around me that every day I wake up and I'm really grateful for.
What city or place, venue have you played that you weren't expecting all the love? And then it was just there, just magical.
Well, I welcome to Rockville when somehow we got bumped to a later time slot because another band couldn't make it. And I'm so sorry, but we got the prime time and a little bit of favor and blessing that day. So the sun starts going down and I hear people chanting my name. And because I had a moment of doubt, Teenage Wrist, really great band from LA, were wrapping up their set and they were great. I mean, they had been on tour for weeks. They were so tight and they were just on fire. And then after they start wrapping up and putting things away, people start leaving to go buy drinks. And I'm like, cool, no one's going to show up. That's fine. And so I'm back there warming up, putting my in-ears in, and some time goes by and I hear people start chanting and I look and it's a sea of 30,000. And I left my body. I mean, I kind of went on autopilot. I didn't have time to be nervous. I kind of just shotgunned right into that performance. And that was amazing. That was very, very unexpected. They were rowdy, very rowdy. And there was a lot of them. And I wanted to crowd surf, but they were too far away.
I think there's a video, isn't there, on YouTube? Is that the one where the band goes on stage and everybody's chanting and it looks like just a sea of people and you're kind of doing like a little jig, waiting to go on for a second, kind of having your moment, and then out you go and it just goes crazy.
Yeah, it was awesome. There was this blue spotlight backstage that was pouring down, and because they had the haze going, this just beautiful blue spotlight was pouring down. It was like right off to the side of the stage, and my photographer Courtney was there, and I just kind of stepped into the light and said a little prayer, and she caught a picture of it. It's so beautiful. And then they're chanting, and I just couldn't believe it. So then, of course, when I get, to my mic stand, my in-ears go out. I'm out and kind of had to wing the show, but it was good. I think it was good for having not been on tour for 2 years. I think we were all right.
That's very cool.
Well, Dorothy Martin, thank you very much for your time. Gifts from the Holy Ghost comes out in March 2022, along with the tour. Hopefully we'll see you in Anaheim at House of Blues, because I believe it's in May you're going to be playing there. So look forward to that. And all the best of luck, really.
Congratulations with this record. It's really, really strong.
Amazingly strong.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It really is. So congratulations on that, and best of luck. And thank you for sharing some of those stories. And, hopefully that light touches other people.
Well, anytime.
Well, very, very cool artist. Up and coming in a way, but already a solid base and
great songs, fantastic songs. Love the new album and love the past album. She's got two past albums that are really amazing. So check them out. My friend a couple years ago, David Rosette, he's I call him Little Buddy because he's way smaller than me, but I call him Buddy because he'll still kick my ass. But he told me, he's like, you gotta hear this band, Dorothy. You gotta hear this band. So I got the album a couple years ago and then just came across the fact that she was coming up with a new one. So I'm really glad we grabbed her, and hopefully maybe go see her at House of Blues in Anaheim coming up in May or something.
And our thanks to UCW and also to Dorothy Martin for hanging with us on Valentine's Day. Special thank you to Zoe Hines for coordinating the interview.
The single Rest in Peace is out now. Listen to Dorothy's music on Spotify, Apple, Tidal, Amazon, or wherever you listen to your music. The new album, Gifts from the Holy Ghost, comes out on April 22nd. And support your local record store if you can by purchasing the CD or vinyl copies through them while supplies last. You can also keep an eye on Dorothy's website, and there probably will be some special stuff that'll be sold there.
What is that website?
I'm not there yet, but go ahead.
Oh. No, go ahead. I was trying to help you. I thought you were improvising.
No, sorry. I'm reading because I don't remember shit.
The band begins their tour this month, and you can check them out all over the U.S. Their website is dorothyonfire.com.
And follow Dorothy on social media at Instagram at Dorothy and Facebook and Twitter at It's Dorothy Sucka. ITS Dorothy SUCKA.
Thank you.
It's Dorothy Sucka.
Also, check out our show notes on our website. CW does a great job putting that all together. There are links to Dorothy's website, plus great music videos, including the latest single, Rest in Peace, which is a great song.
We appreciate your support, whatever you can do for us. Please, if you can help, we appreciate it. Go to Facebook or Instagram, follow us, like our posts, share our posts, whatever you can do. Write a review if you can, wherever you listen. Just take 1, 2, 3 minutes. Write something quick and nice, hopefully. Or subscribe to the podcast so that every time we release a new episode, it automatically comes to you. We need all the help we can get. So thank you all for listening. More episodes coming, and take care, everybody. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.